Welcome back to Taste of the East, Touch of the West with me, Tahira. Now you've probably heard of onion bhajis. Well, it's also known as the pakora. It's a very yummy Moorish appetizer and it's just so delish. Great for parties as finger food, only problem is you just can't stop at one. Now the version I'm going to make is very simple. Growing up as a child I was very fussy, so my gran, whenever she made this, she would make a special batch just for me using just potatoes in the batter. But you of course can use spinach, onions or cauliflower or even chicken to make the original, so let's get started. For this recipe you will need 1.5 cups of gram flour, 1 cup of water, 2 large potatoes diced, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of crushed garlic, 1 teaspoon of garam masala, half a teaspoon of turmeric and half a teaspoon of chili powder. And don't forget the oil for frying. So before we start our pakora mixture, we want to chop up 2 potatoes, so we basically want to dice them. Okay, so we just keep these aside until we need them. So this pakora mixture is just so simple to make, so we're going to throw in our spices and then the water. Okay, so once the spices have gone in, we just want to mix it up into the flour. I'm going to add in the water. Do a bit at a time. You might want to add in just a little bit at a time just to make sure that you get the right consistency. You don't want to make it too runny and you don't want to make it too thick either. That looks about right. If you want it so it's a bit stodgy like this, and then it should coat all the potato pieces. So all that's left to do is to add the potato pieces into the mixture. So I'm going to throw all this in. There we go. And just give it a good mix so you coat all the pieces. Okay, it looks perfect. So all that's left to do is to preheat the oil, so we want to put it onto a medium heat. And once it's heated, then we can start throwing in the pakoras. I'll tell you a neat little trick to check if the oil is hot enough. If you get a wooden spoon and you stick the back end into the oil, it should start bubbling up around the spoon, so that means the oil is the perfect temperature. Okay, or it's ready. So you just get a tablespoon, a big heap of the mixture with the potatoes, just throw it into the oil. You can make them as big or as small as you want, but a tablespoon is usually about right. So soon they'll start floating to the top. That's when you know that at least one side is nearly cooked, and then you can flip them over. We're trying to get them to a golden brown colour. You can actually keep the mixture for another day, so you just put it into a plastic container, a sealed plastic container, stick it in the fridge, and then you can use it again tomorrow. But of course if you're having a party, then you can use the whole lot straight away. Usually they'll take a couple of minutes on each side. They're starting to look like they're nearly done. I think another minute and they'll be ready. You can actually feel that they're a bit crispy. They're all ready. You can see the colour is nice and golden brown, both sides. And you just want to put them into a dish lined with kitchen roll, just to soak up any excess oil. Okay, so you might want to try one to make sure that it's totally cooked through. You can have it hot or cold with chutney. I'm Tahira with Taste of the East, Touch of the West.